What's up guys, Qortal Justin here, back with another video. In this one, we're gonna be taking a look at names on Qortal and how they allow you to reclaim control of your data on an alternative internet. Let's get into it. So when you create an account on the normal internet, you might think that you own that account, but in reality, you don't really own it, right? And you might say, Justin, how's that possible? When I make a username and put a password and give up personal information, I must own that account on that specific website, right? And the answer is no. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. In reality, that account is owned by the private company who owns the server on which you made the account, right? So if you made an account on a social media website, they're in full control of your account and they can do pretty much whatever they want with it, including delete it if they want to. And this is actually kind of crazy when you think about it, because only a handful of big corporations control pretty much all the data on the normal internet. And they have pretty much free reign with choosing whatever they want to do with that data, whether that be to sell it, delete it, censor it. And we've seen a lot of that going on lately on the normal web. Hence the need for a new internet and the movement towards Web3. And Qortal really encapsulates Web3 extremely well through its names concept, which we're going to be looking at now. So when you build a name on Qortal, essentially you're creating a digital identity on chain, and any data associated with that name becomes yours only. Nobody can censor it, take it down, hack it, or whatever. It becomes your name and your identity on Qortal. So we're going to take a look at how to make a name now on Qortal and see some of the features you could do once you have a name. Let's check it out now. So we're on Qortal Hub, and as we can see here, we're on a brand new account with 6 initial Qort that was sent to us by a friendly community member. When creating an account on Qortal, you absolutely need some Qort to get started, which will be necessary to buy your first name. If you haven't figured out yet how to create your own account and buy a name, check out the tutorial I made in the description of this video where I go through each step in doing so. For now, let's take a look at here. We can see we have the public key of our account, which will be replaced by our name, which is much more memorable. And down here we could see that we have 6 Qort balance on our Qort wallet. So I'm going to go ahead and register a name here. We could choose any name as long as it's available, right? That's the most important thing, is that it's not already taken. In my example, I'm going to use Qortal tutorials with a space, I guess. And when we're ready, we click register name, and this pop-up will appear telling us that it costs 1.25 Qort to register a name. We must accept this publishing fee, and we see here that it's been successfully registered and that it may take a couple minutes for it to propagate to the network. So I'm going to get back to you once that's done. Now that we've seen how easy it is to acquire a name on Qortal and seen that we could buy and sell additional names using the Names app, let's take a look at how names can be used in other features, such as sending messages on Chat or using it to own data on Q apps. Let's take a look at that now. Let's now take a look at sending a message on Chat now that we have a name successfully registered and that we've seen the Names app. So I'm going to go ahead and click on chat here. At the moment, I'm not part of any groups, so I'm going to go into general chat and I'll be able to send a message. Hello, everyone. I am new here. And as we could see, we were able to send a message, Qortal tutorials. So our name is there. So that means this chat message is directly tied to our account or our name on the Qortal blockchain. Now I'm going to head over to back to the Q app section to show you some other ways in which names are very powerful. So if we head over to Q shop, it will show us some shops built by people who own names, of course, right? Ziad, TechTrek, Illusion, Igorcorn. These are all people with names on Qortal, and these shops and whatever they're selling in them, all that data belongs entirely to them. So that means nobody's in any position to censor this shop, take it down, hack it, or do any funny business whatsoever, since the data tied to that name is restricted to that person and that person only. So we get full digital self-sovereignty on Qortal through the name, right? We cannot repeat that enough. Let's check out another Q app as an example. One very interesting one is QShare, which works as a file sharing Q app. So after a short download period, we'll see the app load. Okay, so here we go. It's loaded now, and we see here at the top left that 4,333 files have been shared so far on QShare, which, as we see here, is a global public file sharing system. And publishers, this is very interesting, 121. And when we say publishers, we're talking about names. We're referring to the names of these publishers because that data is tied to their name. They are sharing it with other people through the Qortal Data Network. So they're publishing to the Qortal Data Network, and then any other other node on Qortal can then retrieve that data and download it to their own node or their own computer, right? So when we see here these files being loaded, we see they're associated with a name. So this person owns that data. He owns that audio file or that PDF or that audiobook or any sort of data on the Qortal data network. So that data belongs to him or her, and he's able to share it with other people through QShare or any other Q app. So that's the main difference between Qortal and the normal internet. On the normal internet, you're reading and writing data, right? But on Qortal, the big difference is that you're reading, writing, and owning that data. That's the third key part, is the own part, because when you own the data, nobody can do anything in regards to it, whether that be censor it, take it down, silence you, or even delete it, right? So these are just some examples. There's many more Q apps, as you can see here within the Q app library. You could search for many Q apps by clicking all, for example. You see all the Q apps available, but they all work with the same names concept and the idea of fully controlling your data on Qortal. So now that we've seen the Names app in action and realized the true power of owning your data fully on a decentralized internet such as Qortal, what are you waiting for to getting on the action? Now's the best time to get started with Qortal. Visit qortal.dev/downloads, download it on your favorite device, and I'll see you on Qortal.